So we go out driving yesterday, check out the new hometown, and I hear my girlfriend go, "Ooh, gold mine." I see a thrift store next to an arts and crafts store. Now usually you can just go, "Oh yeah, that's cool, like we'll check that out sometime," and then put your foot as quickly as possible on the gas pedal and keep driving. Oh, we missed it. We'll have to see it in some other time. Now that works if you're driving. But unfortunately in this case, she was driving. So where did I get to go? The thrift store and the arts and crafts store. Now I have nothing wrong against either of these places. I just have a short attention span for these places. And I will say, if you're ever faced in this predicament, I would say arts and crafts store, then thrift store. You go into that thrift store and that'll throw you for a loop and you'll be so confused, you'll be buying things in the arts and crafts store. So you go into the thrift store and of course there's that distinct smell, you want to say. I don't know why, but all thrift stores have a distinct smell. You know it, I know it. Let's keep going. So we get in there, and I think my girlfriend does the most cleverest thing ever. She looks at me and she immediately finds a section that I might be interested in. And so she thinks if I can get interested in, she'll have more time to look around at what she wants to get. She's got it. She finds a DVD section and she goes, "Oh yeah, look, DVDs, movies, oh hooray, hooray." And I fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. I'm like, "Oh cool, movies, yeah, something I can look at, real cool." So I start like getting interested and looking left and right. And so I'm looking through the DVDs and I look over to my left and I see this older gentleman, and I look over to my right and I see another older gentleman, and I kind of look around and I go, Is this the drop-off zone for husbands and boyfriends and things like that? Like, this is where you just get put so that the ladies can go shop around in the store? These two dudes look like they had been there for like 20 years. Like, I started looking through the movies. I looked at one of them and they almost looked at me with their eyes and was like, "Get out. I've been here since I was your age." I was like, oh my goodness, it's time to get out of here. Rushed over to my girlfriend and was like, "Yeah, no, I didn't see anything that I wanted to buy, and I'm good. Yeah, let's wrap this portion up of the trip." So we go over into the arts and crafts store and I go, okay, I think I've learned my lesson. Don't get interested in anything. You put your hands in your pockets. You wander a little bit so that you don't get too interested into what she's doing, and you can just kind of mosey your way on in and out. Hands in the pockets. Don't get interested in anything. So as I'm walking around, I start noticing that other guys are also doing that same thing. They got their hands in their pockets and they're just kind of looking around, and then, their lady or significant other would be like, "Oh, do you like this?" And look, if we're not interested in being there, those types of questions are really hard to answer. Like one or two times, "Oh yeah, that's cool, yeah, awesome." Don't know what that is. But after like the third or fourth, you just see it's draining our energy. We're like, "Yeah, that looks great." So it was funny too, because at one point, I caught eyes with one of the guys that had their hands in their pocket, because they're just kind of looking around, standing back. Yeah, babe, that's cool. And we kind of lock eyes for a minute, and it was almost like Morse code. It was like, "Please help me." And I was like, "There's no escape. Quick, they're starting to notice that we're feigning worry and trying to call out for distress." And then you have to just kind of like stop looking at each other and just kind of go back to what you were doing. And later on, you'll find them like at the checkout, and you get one solid like head nod, like, "We made it, man. We're getting out of here." But that's it. And it was funny too, because then I saw one guy who I think he pulled the better move, right? So you can either do the hands in pockets and just walk around and kind of feint mild, like just kind of walk around, or you can get the cart and push the cart. At least this way, you're doing something, you just follow around, you're always supposed to be meant behind so other people can get around you. I think the cart's a good idea. However, the one caveat to the cart is you're in it for the long haul. If you grab a cart, that means you're going to be in that store for at least a half an hour, right? If you just walk in there with your hands in pockets, you only carry what's in your hands. So I thought. More on that later. So this guy, he's got a smile, grin to grin, because when you're pushing the cart, you can just push, stop, she's going to look at something, and you can just stare off in the space and do the one thing that drives most people crazy, or most women crazy, which is think about nothing. Just stare off. Just the one thing that most men like to do, which is think about absolutely nothing, drives women crazy. How can you think about nothing? Something is nothing. You're thinking about something. Tell me what you're thinking. You got to be thinking about something. No, honestly, nothing. And so when you have the cart, though, you can even hide behind a phrase. You can hold the cart, stare off, and they go, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, holding the cart. Holding the cart. We're on the move? No? All right, cool. What are you really doing? Thinking about nothing. The best thing ever." As you can tell, I spend a lot of time in this in the arts and crafts store, because girlfriend tried to pull act number 2, which was to try to get me distracted again. This time, because arts and craft, not a whole lot going on. I've been doing a lot of air frying recipes. So she found like an air frying recipe book and a Marvel cookbook. I was pretty excited. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And I started looking through, and there was a few good things in there. And I looked at the price tag. It was like $30. I was like, no offense, but I could kind of buy food at the grocery store and look up recipes for free online, and that way I have food and recipes instead of spending $30 on a recipe book. I don't know. That's just my thought process. So it surely lost my interest very quickly, and so I started looking around again, and I started noticing so most of the women that were in there that were by themselves, time of their lives. They had nobody to keep on a wheel. They could just look around, pick things up. Somehow there was a table in the store where you could just sit down and start opening books up and reading. So there was a whole book scenario going on. A little cat fight almost happened. One girl sat down later on, and she picked up a book, and the lady was like, "Hey, that was mine. I was looking at it." She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. My bad." And the lady freaked out, grabbed the book, and booked out of there. I was like, whoa, that's the spine on that one. All right, I'm sorry. So I was like, and then I saw the dudes, all the dudes that were in there by themselves, for the most part, they all had their heads face down on the floor, and they were just beelining to they knew exactly what they needed. They were going there, grabbing it, and getting the heck out of Dodge. One guy, though, it kind of seemed like he made the fail mistake of it kind of looked like this. It kind of looked like he was at home with his girlfriend or significant other, and they were talking about going to the arts and crafts store, and the one was like, "Oh, this is what I need. I just need some material about this wide." And the dude was like, "Oh, I got it. To save some time, I'll get it. I got you. I'll go get it. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it." And when he got to the store, he was ill-equipped for what needed to happen, because he got in there, he's like, "Yeah, I need about 30 yards of this material." Starts looking at his phone. What if this isn't right? Do I need more? Do I need less? What happens if I get less? Okay, and if I wanted more? And what if I wanted a different style altogether? Hold on one second. Caller, don't call her. You got this. Yeah, I'll get, let me get 40 yards, an extra 10 yards of what I wanted. I'll stick with what I wanted, and we're good to go. We'll wrap this up right now. You got to act really confident in the end. Yep, this is what I need, and I'm good to go. So, yeah, man, it was really crazy, because then finally, we got out of there, and I almost thought, you do the cash register, and then you forget that most, cash registers are now designed where they have, that free-for-all stuff, where it's just, they have just a bunch of little knickknacks all over the place, and I swear, I was so in tuned on, getting to the cash register, I just, pulled up, and I looked around, and my girlfriend was gone. She was still in the aisle, trying to pick out things, and at that point, I was just, grab it. Let's go. Grab it all. Pick it all up. Let's get out of here. Because that first breath of fresh air, when you get out of that store and you finally make it to the car, freedom. And then you're like, that's it. And you get in the car and she's like, all right, now time to go to another one. No! Looking back too, I realized that we had made a mistake, or that I had made a mistake not grabbing the cart, because like after me and that guy had like tried to like send out that distress signal, that guy with the cart, he just walked by us like smirking, like thinking in his head like, suckers, should have grabbed a cart. Knew it. And I was like, that guy, think you're clever, but you were.